Good morning. Welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Tuesday, Takeoff Tuesday. As of right now, we have 48 participants on the line. Make sure you reach out to your team. We do not want any ICMs left behind. Bill Predebon is an amazing individual, and I'm so fortunate to have gotten to know him over the past few years as we've both been working together in Scottsdale. And I definitely miss seeing your face, Bill, and I miss just your energy. If you haven't met Bill in person yet, he just has incredible energy. He's just such a fun person to be around, and he's very, very passionate about what he does. And he's been very successful on both sides of our business. And so Bill spends an hour with us every Tuesday to share with us what's been working for him. And he always has such great stories, and he's always very encouraging, and again, very passionate about what he does. He's got a very cool story too. So let's go over some of what happened before Renatus. He was a pro skier for 10 years in Vail, Colorado, and realized he really wasn't qualified to do much else. And so he actually got into a franchise. He purchased some stores, and due to lack of knowledge, he actually ended up losing everything. And in 2007, he heard about real estate investing, did not have education, so he attempted real estate investing on his own. He knew that it was something that could be very lucrative, and he didn't know what he didn't know, didn't have the education, and this was during 2008, during the crash, and he ended up being upside down in over $400,000. He then found Renatus, and he was able to get himself out of that hole, and in his first year alone, he made 8 times more than he did the previous year as both a realtor and a loan officer. Since then, Bill has completed over 150 transactions. He's grossed multiple 7 figures in real estate. He is a marketing leader and on the PIT team, meaning he's in training to be on the President's Advisory Council. And we're very fortunate to get to learn from Bill today. Good morning, Bill.
Hi there.
Hey, hey.
There we are. What's going on? That was an exciting introduction. I really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for having me out here and welcome me every Tuesday, Keely. It's just such a pleasure. I miss you too, girl. It's crazy, folks, that we're still not live. I was thinking about that the other day. Where was I? There was something that opened up though, and I was like, So I got to start thinking about the next time we're going to be out in public together. Hopefully, it'll be sooner than later, and we'll start doing Thursday nights. We did a live property tour the other day, live and online, but we only had room for 20, and we do the social distancing thing. I don't even know if we're allowed to have 20 people, but we didn't have 20 people there live anyway, so I don't know what the rules are. Who knows? Today is going to be fun. Keely, thanks for everything you do. Congratulations on all the momentum and success you've been able to have and lead by example here with the online events and just, just taking your business serious and just doing the things that you're able to do. I just really appreciate it. And I appreciate, I know that everybody here appreciates all that you do as well. And you're just a great voice for Renatus, and I look forward to continue to work with you. And I look forward to our live events together. Yay. All righty, folks, let's kick this off. So, you know me. Good morning, Pete. Good morning, everybody. I'm just checking out the chitty chats up there. And I could talk, right? I can talk. I do talk. You guys, I always out of training. I'll have a couple things in mind. But I want you to think about this. If there's and Dane Clark does this a lot, and of course, Michael, we all do, but as you know, I'll put my number just so you guys all know that, 760-533-3141. 760-533-3141. That's my cell number. It's in the chat. If there's any thoughts or comments or questions that you guys have, I always use those 3 phrases. I don't know why, but any questions, any topics, any concerns or, discussions or anything live in your world of marketing Renatus, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, even even real estate related, I can spin it on towards the marketing, so we can take away from that as not only to be able to work on real estate, but also apply that to your marketing, then we can go in that direction. So today, if you have, in fact, we can do this every day, I don't care, but if you have something, write it down, think about it, get it in your head, and bring it out, and ask questions, and let's go down those roads that you would rather me travel, if that makes sense. So in the meantime, I was thinking about a couple things. That might be pertinent to what we're doing. And I know you probably know this, and it's an honor, and I'm grateful to be here on Tuesdays and train, for lack of a better term, train you guys and girls, and share my knowledge. And so I was thinking about this when I got started. I'm trying to imagine where you're at, like why you do this, right? Why you come on here, and what you're looking to accomplish. You listen to Michael and Dane and Wanda, and you want to, the pack is out there, and the pit's out there, and the goals are out there, and the amount of money that can be made. And then as well as, while you're making that money, you're building a team and changing some lives and sharing this information with people. And so it's not an easy thing to do. If it was selling $20,000 education, closing somebody, asking for someone to give you 20 grand when you're going to make 50% of it, or whatever the status is that you're in on your path, right? And so there's all of these eventual hangups that come up. And I was thinking about it for me. When I got into Renatus in the old company, I was focused on one thing. And I didn't know there was an MLM. I didn't know there was really a network marketing business. I wasn't interested in that, nor was I really exposed to it. I believe that had I been exposed to it a little differently and maybe understood it, it would have been lucrative, and I would have been taking it more serious, or taking a more serious look at it. But regardless, I was focused. I wasn't probably even open to it. I was open to learning real estate and becoming a real estate investor. And so that's why I sought out real estate investing education. So when I got it, although I went to events, I wasn't even open to understanding the marketing. I was open to really networking, right? So here's where I'm going with this. I am not a 7-figure income earner in the marketing. I think I'm at over 500,000. And roughly, I have to check that. I haven't checked that in a while, but I'm not, I'm a top income earner, I guess, in the company, depending on what number you're looking for in the top, but I'm not the best of the best, right? And the best of the best are out there. And, Dane Clark makes, I don't know, last year he made, I don't know, he makes way more money than I do in the marketing. He has. So what I'm getting at is, like, we always want to be careful who we listen to and take advice from, right? And we always want to listen to the people that are doing the things that we want to do, right? Or done the things that we want to do, been to the places we want to go, and that sort of thing. So I think the reason I'm here is because of a few things, right? So I'm going to where we all want to go, right? I think, or most of you want to go to the pack. You want to get to that, 6-figure yearly income, where I'm at already, but you want to get to the $250,000, 400,000, get to the pack level, maybe even get to 100 grand a month, get to consistently, maybe get to 7 figures in a year. I think I truly believe that this company not only has the potential, but will get there, especially with the longevity and the fact that we're a strong financial company, that we have a fearless, integrity driven, young CEO at the helm with family involved and the whole 9 yards. You guys, I don't have to talk about Bob Snyder, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. So we're in a great position. So here's where I'm going with this. I feel like when you look at what I did and why I'm here today, when I got started, I was focused on real estate. And as real estate, as the market started to change and it became a short sales market, I was studying the short sales. I was going to classes. I was not marketing the company. The very first sale I had came to me from my neighbor because she asked me about what I was doing. And she wanted to get out of her job of traveling, but she probably knew in her mind that wasn't possible. But her husband was a friend of mine, and he was in the real estate building. He was in construction, and his job was going down, and he was basically jobless and couldn't get a job. So she was thinking that it would be good for him to do this. And so she was willing to pay for it once she learned about it to get it done, right? That was my first pass-up sale. Warm market, but I wasn't out there marketing the education. Now, the difference between you and I maybe, and bear with me, we'll get through this, but if there's any thoughts, comments, questions, I want to go down that road, but listen here. The difference was I started to study the education, right? And I was studying it thoroughly, and I was applying the education. So my belief was going up. And so by the time, another sale of mine was a pass-up sale, was the guy who taught me loans, right? And I called him up because I really wanted to work with him. And I knew he wanted to do real estate, and I knew his butt was getting kicked out of the loan business that he was in as well. And I had just left a little earlier than he did. And so I actually technically marketed to him, but it was for selfish reasons. Like I wasn't trying to do a marketing job, right? So when it comes to for me to be able to market and close people and ask for the sale back in 08, when I got qualified and made 18,000 in like my first, my first 90 or 100 days of actually doing marketing, because I had already been working on short sales, and I understood the community and I understood the business. I understood that the real estate worked. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and do a deal before you market. We all know that, right? What I'm getting at is where my belief comes from. So my suggestion is, if that is not you, if you haven't done the deals that you wanted to do, maybe you've been in longer and the deals haven't come your way, or you haven't had the success in real estate. I know we talk about this all the time, but not only do we tell you, well, you've got to share other people's stories. You've got to understand that it's not about you, that it's about what they can do in the real estate, and that your life is different from everybody else's. All results are different. And everybody has their own path, and all that's good information, and all that is true. But you may want to, the marketing is your business, and I got a question here coming up I'm going to get to right now. And then we're going to go back. So we're going to weave in and out of this. So you may want to focus then a little bit more on some of the results that other people are having, to the extent that you understand what classes they watched and how they got the deal done. Not like the specifics, but what it is that came about. So not only do you understand these testimonies, but these testimonies become facts, right? These testimonies become reality, and in your brain and in your mind and in your mindset. So, if we think about what I'm relating this to, and I'm going to get with another story, I'm going to answer this question first. But if you think about it, like all pharmaceuticals, a multi $100 billion, million, $1 trillion companies in pharmaceuticals, right? They do testing, right? They test the drugs. They research them forever. They've got certain people they hire, whatever it is they do. I don't know. Some of you are probably in the medical field, much more than I do. But my idea is that they test these products. They do these samples. They do these, these, what are those things called where you get in these, whatever those stupid things are called, where people test them out, right? And you have the different, you start with animals, maybe, unfortunately, and then they go ahead and they have you can sign up and get paid to be part of the testing, right? And then it gets approved and all that stuff. And then the doctors that sell it have never ever, right, and that buy it and promote it, right? It's financial gain, just like we have here. There's financial gain. There's a reason behind it, right? But more importantly, they're not just going to go prescribe some drug that they don't believe in. So there's got to be a little bit of belief into it, right? They took an oath. So there's some ethics involved, hopefully, and clinical trials. Thank you. You're perfect. And right. And then what they're basing their experience on and their knowledge is all the testing that they didn't do. They didn't go out and test it. They didn't go out and do the clinical trials. They didn't go out and do the lab animals. They didn't go out and they're just believing the knowledge from the salesperson and the company that has a reputation that's on, right? So it's the same thing here, right? The clinical trials are all the people like me that have done the real estate. Okay, we're gonna get back to this in just a second. So I want you to think about this for a little bit on how the purpose of this is, how can you do bigger, better, badder things and in the marketing without and it just enhance what you're already doing. Okay. My business partner having 2 property tours on Sunday, one just us and the other an investor partner. Oh, okay. One of them is just for them for share. And then one of them, their partner. How do you pack your property tour in terms of attendance? How do you market it besides social media and word of mouth? Okay. So, if I had to look at a property tour that has the most people, I would look at Phoenix Alliance and Zach Ullman. And when Kevin Sparks back in the day, 2016, started back up like I did with Renatus, their first exposure was a property tour, not the meeting, right? And then they would get people interested in the real estate itself and the community. And they never even mentioned Renatus at the property tour. All right. And they would get people excited about real estate and the money and things like that. And then eventually they would bring them to a follow-up and they would talk briefly about the resources. Now, for me, and what I believe to be true about Renatus, that's crazy, right? Now, in my opinion, Renatus is the reason we're here, and to not expose people to Renatus is crazy to me. Now, if I had to think about a property tour, though, and I think like right now, Phoenix Alliance property tours have 90 people in online attendance to 100. Okay, they're big. And they've always been the focus of real estate in Phoenix. Phoenix is a very big real estate market. So the way that they do that is through their team. So I don't know if you have your own personal team, but they have their whole team invite people to see. And I know you know this, but my point is that it's a collaborative effort of creating a big buzz around the amount of money that is being made at these fix and flips and these property tours, and people are interested. So when you got 10, 20 people from a group in your area that are all part of Renatus, all doing social media blitzing and calling up their friends and family and letting people know that they're having a property tour, it's not just you promoting your property tour, it's everybody promoting your own property tour, if that makes sense. So it was word of mouth based on a lot of people, right? And social media. Now, if it's your own tour and you don't have a big team and you don't have a bunch of Renatus people that live in your area, or maybe you're not connected with a lot of people in your Renatus area, right? Like I did my property tour this weekend with a couple of people that I partnered on, and my entire team was promoting that property tour. So I think we had, a dozen or so people at the house, and we had, 20 or whatever on the Zoom part of it, right? I have to go back and look. I didn't check everybody in time, and so I got to go check to see how many people actually showed up. But the way to promote this property tour, it always starts with you, okay? And this is key. No matter what you all are doing, if it's going to be, it's up to me, right? So honestly, I would not worry about packing the tour. I would not worry about having a bunch of people there. I wouldn't worry about any of that. I would worry about having quality people there. I would worry about having your own people. If you show up to the tour and it's you and 2 of your guests, make it personal, make it phenomenal, make it awesome, and have them then want to join, right? And then you can record it and send it to somebody, or you can tell somebody about it, or You know what I mean? Have one or two other Renatus people there, and then start to spread the word, and just start with your first one and start with your second one. And then have, have that grow organically to where you won't ever have to worry about how to pack a room, because the property tour will be so good and will be so exciting with so much energy and so much opportunity that the word of mouth will be spread, right? By other people. And when you have multiple people spreading word of mouth, you'll pack your rooms. I hope that helps. Start with you, start with quality, perfect it, and you might not want to do, well, I guess you could do 2 property tours, just do one after the other one, but perfect them. All right. Will it be zone? Okay. In-person limited attendance. We have space for 100 people. Be perfect. Okay. Awesome. Glad I could help. Cool. That's my thoughts on that. That's really good. I'm glad you're doing the property tour. I think it's awesome. Keep it up, you guys. You don't have to be a PAC member, a PIT member. You don't have to be a top income earner. You don't have to make any money. You just have to be a good standing 5-star or a good standing ICM to put an event on the calendar, right? You got to be in compliance and you got to know what you're doing. Hopefully you've attended one before, but so let me, I'll keep going. I love these comments. So remember, you can come off mute. You can raise your hand. You can do whatever you need to do to share with me what is important to you. If you have a concern, if you have a frustration, if you have a, just a true thought and you're like a transparent, realistic objection, concern, that you want to discuss when it comes to marketing this education and selling this and making money as a business, let me know. Let me take up Dr. Gary Lawrence. All right. Gary's on the PAC. He's been on the PAC, I think, since 2012, which means he's made the minimum of 150 grand, give or take. I don't know if that had that income qualification back then. I doubt it. I don't know the whole story. I was following them. I mean, I was still an ICM or an what do we used to call ourselves? I don't even remember anymore.
IMA.
See, whatever you focus on it all. So on IMA, when I met Gary, I met him in 2009 in the last company. And he was very too focused on real estate. He was not interested necessarily in the marketing. Now, there was something about it that we attended meetings. We met people at the meetings. We were both understood the power of community and the possibility. And maybe it was both our personalities that we, as we started to have success, we like being in front of the room and telling a testimony. What I found is for me, it was more about meeting people in the room that had resources and could bring deals and money and partnerships and trades to the table. I didn't have to go look for all of those things. I didn't have to go away from Renatus with my education and my notebooks and then sit at home and try to build a team. I could build a team from the community. So I really like that aspect. So that's why I went to all the events. I went to Super Saturdays. I wasn't selling anything. I wasn't marketing at all. So Gary was the same way. He was interested in Renatus real estate. He was interested in the education. He wasn't even on my team, and he asked me to join my mastermind. I'll tell you, he had more energy at 65 and more excitement and more determination and more desperation to make money in real estate than anybody on my team that was even in my mastermind. And so I let him in my mastermind that I had for real estate. And I'll tell you, within the first week, he made $3 grand by bringing a buyer to one of my flips. All right, I got a question, and I'm gonna come back to the Gary story. I'm gonna tie this all up at the end on how I'm gonna help you. I promise you, reframe what it is you're doing, so you have the confidence and you have the belief. Not that you don't already, but there's got to be a reason. And I'm gonna share my own experience on this, why we don't take more massive action. All right. I'm going to refer to Michael Huggins and my assumptions around that as well. How do you, Isaac says, how do you respond when people ask for the price right away about our education? Okay. So I'm going to say this first. And then it's a legitimate, understood question and problem. All right. Number one is I haven't had somebody ask me for price in a long time. And typically that comes from a little bit of inexperience, which is fine. I mean, or it comes from obviously marketing to cold market people. So when you're, in fact, I was just on, for example, Facebook, and I was looking at something, and I swear to God, everybody knows what you're looking for. And I have one of my short-term rentals I'm going to be putting in a hot tub. I have not Googled hot tub in a while. I don't know if they can see this pamphlet I have on my desk I don't know how they know, but the hot tub ad popped up. And I just happened to look at some of the comments. I didn't click on it yet because I'm not ready for them to start marketing to me again, or, start texting me and saying, oh, come out for a free event, or, we'll give you an estimate or some crap. But there were some comments in there, and one guy was like, why do I have to fill out my information to get the price? I just wanted, and then another comment, what's the price? They just want to know the price, right? They don't want to get hassled. They just want to know the price, because this is a cold market to a bunch of cold market people. There's no deep connection at all. There's no connection whatsoever. There's no salesperson. It's just a picture on Facebook with a promoted ad, and it's a hot tub, and it says, we have prices. Click here and get your promotional $500 off your tub, Labor Day specials. And people just want to know the price. They don't want to have to deal with the hassle, right? So the idea behind that, what you're talking about, is that it's really, really cold marketing. And so the ad didn't say, hey, have you ever thought about you getting into a hot tub, and, do you and your wife want to get more intimate? Would you, do you have a short-term rental that you need a hot tub for? What would be the greatest reasons to own a hot tub? It just seems like such a frill. It's no longer just for rich people, and you start to connect with somebody, and they were asking a bunch of questions. People would be like, oh, what kind of hot tubs do you have? Are they 110 or 120 or 220? Is it easy setup? They'd start to ask more questions about the hot tubs and be less concerned about the price, because the hot tub company was concerned and stirring up emotion in their marketing, right? So I'm gonna answer the question here in just a second. My thought is, first of all, is just reconsider how you're marketing, is all I'm getting at. Spend a little bit more time with the right demographic, the right audience, and price won't be as important. And also that you might be able to develop even in your cold market ads. Like when I used to place ads on Craigslist when it was compliant, I asked probably 10 questions, 8 questions in my ad. And then I said, call now, like demands. I had commands in there. So they were inspired by my questions. They start to think about what I'm asking them, about, hey, have you ever wanted to learn hands-on? Have you ever wanted to have a mentor? There were certain questions I was asking that was stirring up the things that I believed that people were looking for. And then I told them what to do next. Okay. So by the time they called me, they were expecting certain things, and they weren't worried about the price. Right now, I did get it sometimes. Okay. So here's the answer to the question. I know I take a long time to answer these questions, you guys, and maybe everybody does, but it's not none. If these questions were like, oh yeah, here's the answer, it's A, B, C, or D, then everybody be killing it. We'd all, you know what I mean? It's not that simple. There's all kinds of scenarios, and we gotta take it seriously when I'm answering these questions. So bear with me. When someone asks the question, what's the price, right? And we're getting this objection. Shoot, I forgot my thought now. Let's see. Oh, man, I had it going there. Okay.
You were talking about placing ads and qualifying leads within your ad.
Correct. Okay. So when I would get people that would call me on Craigslist, and they were cold market, obviously, and they would ask me, hey, what is the price? I got to tell you, I asked John O'Neill this once when I first got started. John answered it this way sometimes when it, depending on the person. And he would say, listen, it all depends on how fast you want to get going out of the gate, how successful you want to become. Everybody can become successful on their own terms, But if you want to set yourself up to succeed, right? If you really want to take this serious, depending on your, how everybody's different, but how you are. And I imagine that you're very aggressive, that you're very outgoing, that you don't want to get left in the dark, right? And in other words, you seem to be a type of person that really wants to go after this. You can get started with us for as little as $197. And I've had people start out at $23,000. So it just depends on you. For most of the people that I see that are successful, especially that are not only successful once, but successful continuously, that have grown their business, that have had the most success the fastest with the least amount of risk, and really haven't even, had losses up front in real estate. They start at the higher price points. But let us get to that point. Let us get some value brought up for you. And then we can determine where is best for you to start based on, what it is that you want to do. I imagine you want to come out of the gate like most people and have the most success. And I imagine that you want to, that you don't want to, make mistakes and cost yourself money and time. So, we'll worry about where to get started once you get going, right? Sound good? So I kind of take a little bit away from the answer, but you can answer it that way. I got that from John O'Neill. You can give them a range. You can say, hey, I've seen people start at 197. That's really low, not offensive at all. And I've seen most of my people get started at the $20,000 level, $23,000, right? And then they're like, oh, they're thinking 197. So they got this price range, right? So now they have an answer. But if you don't draw a lot of attention to it and, you kind of set them up to be like, listen, you know what I mean? You can start here, but it seems like you'd be one of the types of people that would want to start there. You know what I mean? So the real answer to the question, in my opinion, is this: it's going to come down to you and where you're going and what you're looking for and the posture you have. If you're working with one person a week and that one person is asking you how much it costs, then you're gonna coddle that person. You're gonna dance around that question. It's gonna make you uneasy. It's gonna make you nervous. It's gonna be, you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to tell them the price when you haven't built any value. You know what I mean? And, you can imagine all of you walking down the street, driving down the street, Facebook, wherever. And if everything had a price tag on it and there was no value created, you'd be like, that is ridiculous. I would never pay $15 for a taco. But if all of a sudden you found out that the taco had 4 tacos, 2 sodas for 2 people with fries on the side, all the free sauce, and you could have a restaurant sit down meal and it's service, you'd be like, wow, that's cheap. $15 for 2 people at sit down service, I'm in, right? So that's why you got to create value no matter what you're selling before you just put out the price. Otherwise there'd be a price tag on everything, right? Some things just sell themselves. Gasoline, it is what it is, right? Check out your gas here. Our gas is better than everybody else's gas. Well, what's the freaking price? All right, you're going to drive up and read about the gasoline? No. You're just going to pull up based on price, right? But other things need value, and this is one of them. All right, so my point is, if you're talking to this one person, then it's going to be nervous. We don't want to lose them. So now they're asking us about the price right off the bat. Most people, including yourselves, if you asked about the price, or you weren't concerned about the price. You were concerned about, will it work? What's in it for you? How much can you make? All of those things. It wasn't about, hey, how much is this going to cost me? The people that say that never get started. I don't know that I've ever closed anybody that came out on the phone and said, okay, Bill, well, I'm going to go to your meeting, but how much does it cost? And you know what I did in my beginning? For the first 2 years back in this, 2016 and 17, I tried to convince them otherwise. I tried to convince them that they should come. I tried to convince them that price isn't important and all that stuff. And whether they came or not, they didn't buy because they're the wrong purpose. They're the wrong person. They're concerned about what stuff costs them and not what's going to make it, right? Most people that are looking for stuff out there, they're not dumb. They know that everything comes with a price, right? Whether or not they have the money, doesn't matter, but they're still willing to go look for it and see what's out there and see what's available. You want to work with the people that are not asking that question. Some people you can overcome, but I hope that helps you guys. It is a great question. You want to be able to explain the benefits so well that they don't care what the price is. Reminding myself of this. Yeah. And again, take it a step further, Keely. It's not only that you want to explain it, you want them to learn it. You want them to experience it. You want them to come up with the answers. And the way that you do that is you ask them, and you know this, right? Is let them see the value by presenting the information to them, but not explaining it to them. When we explain it, and I know that's not what you meant. I know you know this, but I'm just saying, everybody, when we reframe our minds, whenever we use the words explain, tell, say, right, then it's us putting it on them and what we think they should know or experience, instead of us saying, hey, would it be of value to you? Or, would you like to test drive the education? Would it help you if you met one of the people that's been doing the real estate deal and I could take you to a tour? Would it be of value to you to come meet one of the instructors online and experience a half a day with them and watch what it is that we teach? Would that help you? You know what I mean? Then it's not us telling, it's them saying, yeah, that sounds good. I'd love to come see that, right? Then if they want to do it, even if we are convincing them of doing it, they said it first. That makes sense. Okay. And I know you know that. And I know, Keely, you're way beyond that. I'm just saying, even when we speak those words, let's just reframe it a little bit.
No, I appreciate that. I definitely need that coaching of being more mindful of the words I use.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, the words tell and express and teach and share, sharing not, but, like you said, explaining, we can only explain for 7 to 10 seconds. And then we got to pop a question and have them tell us what they want and what they loved. And that's why Michael always says, and all these leaders, what did you like best? Hey, you know what I mean? Not, hey, what did you think? It's what did you like best? Oh, what did you like about that? Oh, wouldn't it be great if you were part? I bet you would love to see a little bit more of that. I bet you would love to be in a class about velocity banking, right? I bet you would love to see a fix and flip on tour. Would that help you even get more exposure? You know what I mean? Because they're like, yeah, I'd love to see that. You know what I mean? You guys get it. All right. So let's keep going. We got another 15, 20 minutes or so here, you guys. Love the questions. I hope that helped, Isaac. I don't know. That's a tough question. And if we all had the answers right out of the bat for that thing, man, we'd all be overcoming these objections like nothing, right? So it really comes down to kind of what I was getting at in the beginning is your posture and your belief. Somebody comes up to me and they're worried about price. I could give a crap, right? I really know that this has the value that I need. And it's not going to be hard for me in the position that I'm in to ask somebody, why are you asking me that? Let me ask you this. Are you concerned about price? Do you care how much it costs? Let me ask you, if it costs $50,000 and all you got was a guarantee that you would make 50 grand, that's our price. It's 50,000. I guarantee, the company guarantees you that you'll make 50 grand in your first year or your money back. Would you care how much it costs? No, right? You wouldn't. So why do you care what it costs you? When what's important is what it makes you. If somebody asked me that would be not necessarily my exact questions to them, but I would put it back on them. I would wonder why they're asking me that. And I would challenge them on it because I don't need them in my business. I don't need to sell them because I don't need the 10 grand, right? But most of the time, we're all in a position like I used to be, even in the beginning of my marketing, where I took a step back from some of my real estate and I wanted the 10 grand. I wanted to make the damn money. I needed to make some, my bills aren't cheap. I like to make a lot of money. So, when I'm not making money marketing, it's a problem. I don't care what level of income I'm making, right? So when someone said that to me, I wanted to convince them to go. I wanted them not to go away. I didn't want them to ghost me. I didn't want them to hang up the phone. I wanted to try to answer the question so they felt like I was genuine, right? So it's tough in the positions we are in. We have to build up our posture and our belief. And so what I'm getting at is the very beginning of this, is that for me, when I started marketing the education in 2016, the belief was already there. I was living proof that this crap works. Okay. The education is bar none, works no matter what. Not that other education doesn't work, but our systems and our community, I knew the community was huge. Why do you think I went back to the community? Like I missed it. I used to coach, right? When I wasn't a part of Renatus, I was coaching and on my own, $10,000 for 6 months per client. I would do 6 clients at a time. And I realized that there's no way I could give enough value to the student. Number one, right? I was cheating them. Number two, I was killing myself. Like it was fun and I was getting deals done and I was partnering up with these folks and I was kind of having my own community, but it was a lot of work for $10,000 when I could just sell them the education in Renatus, still partner with them, not have to coach them. They could have their own coaching and I'd still make $10,000. So my belief was already there. Like I was already 100% core belief was there that it worked, that it was the best opportunity on the planet. I'd even proven it by trying to do something else. So in order for you to do that, because you don't have the same experiences that I did, right? If you look at Dr. Gary, back to his story. Now he and Sylvia decided in 2011 to follow Bob. I just want to clarify, I didn't have that choice based on a choice that I made. So I don't regret anything. I wish I did not mean to be to ever stop marketing Renatus back then, but that's a whole nother story. So Gary decided to go back at it in 2011, follow Bob, and be 100% behind the marketing. So he had to build a community, and he had his own experience. You know, Gary really didn't get qualified for 24 months, 22 months. Gary did real estate. He did real estate with the first person he actually borrowed the money from. He borrowed the money to get started in the education. She liked it so much, she bought it herself, and she became his financial business partner in real estate. And he was out doing the work, managing the projects, you know, using my trades, getting his own trades and doing flips, 2009 and 10. And then he started marketing. And that's when he already had the core belief that it worked, right? And he had 20 years, 30, 40 years of family counseling and starting churches all over the country and into Canada. He would start congregations or whatever they're called, start up a church, right? Bring people in from scratch. And he was built to do this, right? He created it. So it was not a difficult thing for him. He knew what to do, right? He knew what word of mouth was. He knew how to get on the radio, right? And he'd get on the radio and tell his story. And he told his broke story, and stories sell. And when you're on the radio, you're taking massive action. You're paying a crap ton of money to get the word out to the most amount of people, right? Most of us are not willing to spend any damn money. Most of us on this line are not taking massive action. And you're not on the pack, right? You are doing something else and you're working on real estate, right? And you're living your life with your family. Gary had no family anymore, right? He was already past that stage, no kids, right? He was concerned about him and his wife. His back was against the wall and he needed to make money. So he knew the only way for him, he didn't know how to use social media. He didn't have a bunch of friends. He could just call up the 65-year-old and go, hey, you want to spend 20 grand? Nope. Couldn't do it. What did he have? He had been on the radio for 10 or plus years, 20 years. He'd been on the radio, preaching the gospel, preaching about church. And so he spun that into Renatus and he pays for a radio station. What did he do? He had no money. What did he do? He got an investment partner. He got somebody else in Renatus and said, you pay for the real estate. I'll do all the lead calling and I'll split the leads with you. He got creative. He created a win-win-win situation for the people. So he did the radio. Everybody knew his voice. He told his story, which was already created, right? Whether it was or not, he was still, even if he'd never done a deal, he had a story about getting broke, spending 20 grand, raising the money and getting into a new company. And now he's inviting people from all over, right? He's got the Christian spin on it. He's got the Christian audience, and he's talking about real estate in a real estate world and talking about business. And somebody's putting the bill, somebody's paying the monthly bill for him so that he could get and in return, he would do the calls, he would book the appointments, and every other lead would go to that person, and so whoever funded, didn't matter. Gary did all the work. The other person would get paid or he'd get paid. And that's whose team they went on. And he did the work for them. So he was creative. When you have no money, right? I heard this the other day. It takes money to make money. That's complete BS. It takes creativity to make money. And how do you get creative? You use other people's experiences and you use your own knowledge. So we have the knowledge and we have all the people's experiences. You just need to be freaking creative, right? My company's called Creative Solutions Investments. Why? Because I had no freaking money and I had to be creative. I had to do deals with no money of my own, no credit, no resources. The only thing I had was time and energy in order to do it, and desperation. Okay? So think about this, folks. For us right now, in the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever our story is, whatever success you've had with Renatus, whether it's marketing or real estate, doesn't matter, right? There's enough in there for you to do a couple things. And this goes for me, you guys. Michael challenged me on my numbers the other day. What am I at? I'm at like 52 grand or something. I got two orders in the system that will fund this month. I've got 5 or 6 follow-ups this week alone, but they're not closed. Most of them are warm market. There's a good chance of it, but I'm nowhere near where I should have been by now, right? And so this goes for me just as much as you, is that, there is, I imagine that people like John O'Neill, I know a little bit of his story, Michael Huggins, right? Bobby Tierney, he's going to be training in the Super Saturday by Big Bad Bobby T, right? 1,100 leads before he got qualified or made us for sale, whatever it was. To get 1,100 leads, you would have had to take some action, not just do what I did, right? This is me, right? I'm out in the real world doing real estate. Every once in a while, someone's like, what do you do? How do you do it? And they're not even asking me that directly, right? They're just like, man, I'd love to. So I was buying some appliances yesterday. I had to buy appliances for 2 flips. I just wanted to get them on. I go through my, it doesn't matter. I have an appliance guy at Spencer's, the biggest place, right? They're the best. And he beats every Labor Day sale there is. But this store was right down the street and had a bunch of closeout stuff. And I wasn't concerned with like the perfect set with the best install and everything. I'm going to have my guys install it. So I just went a little bit different route. I had some 0% credit card that was just sitting there with all kinds of limit on it. So I was going to just go down the street and buy some appliances. So this guy starts talking to me. Well, I was telling him a little bit about what I do, right? Just because he's like, well, what are you doing with the appliances? What happened? Do you mind if he's asking the sales questions? What happened to your old appliance? I'm like, honestly, kid, it doesn't matter. I'm like, they're for 2 real estate deals. I'm doing, these are for some properties. I'm just putting in new appliances. And he's like, oh, so then the manager starts saying, I wanted to get into real estate. I don't have the credit. I want to buy my own house. I'm renting. Just starts telling me a story, right? The manager of the store. And so I take the opportunity when that comes along to go ahead and, ask a few questions and gather information, and I'll talk to him today and I'll invite him, right? So that was my marketing in the past. 3-foot rule, every once in a while, call out to a friend of mine, hey, do you want to get started, right? And very lame marketing. Put my ad on Craigslist every 2 weeks, spend $25 back then, and it got up to 45 or whatever it was, and nowhere near massive action, right? And I got the exact results from the action I was taking. Where was I getting results from? Doing my real estate. Where was I spending the time? Doing my real estate, right? You're going to get results from the place you spend your time. You're probably going to have a better family life if you spend more time with your spouse. You're probably going to raise better kids if you spend more time with your kids. Let somebody else raise them, or you don't have any time for your kids. they're probably going to rebel a little bit, right? I don't know. I don't have kids, right? When Sherry spends more time with our new cat than I do, the cat is much more inclined to go over to Sherry, and I get pissed because I'm like, why is the cat not coming to me? She's like, well, you don't spend any time with the cat, right? She'll go in there and work and lay on the bed, and the cat will come over, the little Sully, and he'll go in. I go get on the bed with Sully when she's not even around, and the damn cat jumps off the bed, scared of me, till he comes back up a little later, right? So you guys get the point. So we'll wrap this up. I'm just making sure you guys are never fish in a pond with mayflies mating because the fish aren't hungry. That's funny. Pete, that's really good. Yeah, if they're mating, that's pretty cool. I like it. I like your guys' comments. You guys are all on. You guys got this. You guys and girls are. You know what you're doing. You just got to do more of it. So let's wrap this all up. If you have not had the success that you want in Renatus on the marketing, right? And you haven't done it before, like if you haven't closed a $10,000 sale, or you've only closed one, right? And you know, if you follow Michael and Dane, you know, you can track why, right? The number of leads, the quality of leads, the number of show ups in the system, the number of follow-ups, and then asking for the sale, and then all that stuff, right? That's all fundamental stuff that we need to be doing and have a system, sound all those kinds of things. But when it really comes down to it, or I mean, all of that's necessary, right? But the reality is that if we know something and feel something and believe something, if we're desperate enough for something, if we desire something, right? Number one is we'll figure out a way to obtain it, right? We will do whatever it takes to get it. You know, I'm not talking about becoming a millionaire and the secret and Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that. I'm just talking about necessity. I'm not like food, but you know, even things we can't afford, even things we know are frivolous, even things that we want, relationships, whatever it is, we will focus on it and we will work on it and we will make it to happen to some extent, right? And then when we believe in something and we feel something and we like something or love something, or you know, we back something up, politics, you know, maybe it's school beliefs about your teachers or your school or your politics or you know, certain laws, certain religious beliefs. We don't have a problem expressing that to people, okay? We don't shout it at the rooftops for the most part, right? But we're definitely willing to express how we feel and let people know about it, especially if we feel they're going to benefit from it, and we will tell them. The reason we do that is because we have a deep belief, we have experience. Sometimes we don't even have our own experiences and our own success from it, but we acknowledge that the possibility is there. That if I go to church in this particular, you know, congregation in this particular church, and if I drive this particular car, if I go to this movie, this is what it's going to be like because this is what I understand it to be. Somebody's told me about it. My friends told me about it and I trust them, whatever it is, right? Why in Renatus then is it different? Because maybe you're making money, right? Maybe you're, you know what I mean? Even like in your own insurance business, maybe it's because you're making money. Maybe it's because you you need to have that proof that you are proof about it, right? There's those limiting beliefs about it. So in order to make this better and for you to come full circle on it and really just eliminate that anymore, then we need to get to a point where, like myself and Gary, you 100% believe. And so my thought is that you can do a couple things. If you're in the marketing and you're not doing a real estate deal right now, or you haven't done a real estate deal, number one is you're studying the education, right? That's going to bring up your belief. We all know that, right? But that doesn't just make you able to go sell it, right? But if you truly study it like it's a job, like it is a business that you want to perform, right? if you owned McDonald's, right? If and raise of hands, right? I'm sure all of you think about this. If we had an opportunity to own a McDonald's without having to put $300,000 down, and we could get one subject to, right? We could go in and just take over the McDonald's, start making the money, pay the bills, pay the franchise, pay the loan, do all of those things, and we could make the amount of money that a franchise from McDonald's makes, right? Just step right into it. Imagine this, whether you eat fast food or not, you're going to learn about the systems. You're going to learn about the experiences and everything that sells McDonald's, right? Because you're going to be selling it. So what I'm getting at, that would be your business and you'd want to learn about it. Same thing here. If marketing is going to be your business, learn about it a little bit more. Don't just know that people make money in real estate when they buy Renatus, and don't just know a story. Oh, Bill's made, X amount of dollars. Bill flipped a house and made 80 grand. But know the story to where, not so you can tell it so much in a 15-minute detail. You want to tell a story quickly, but so that you have a belief on really what classes I studied, right? What it is what kind of deal it was, all the classes that played in, and how long like the reality of the story in your neighborhood. Really go to a property tour and understand it. Like, don't just experience it, but understand it. And this will help you to understand the product that you're selling, like how it really works. Like, I think that Michael Huggins, and I always use that because he's here and I spend more time talking to him, but a Dane Clark, and not even a late Nate Lambert, a John O'Neill, a Gary Lawrence. Like, I know Gary, and Gary has known Bob for a long time. And Gary has conversations with Bob, right? And so they understand who Bob is, right? They don't just know that he's a great guy and he's, a religious guy and a family guy and he's done well. They know who Bob is. And so they're able to sell Bob, right? Through that belief and that knowledge. So get to know your business a little bit better. Don't worry about your real estate and what you've done, and then you can sell it better. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, I was trying to finish that up, but I'm just going to check the chats. I don't really know anything about what you guys are talking about. I don't know what straight line is. Oh, that's that book or something, or some sort of system. All right, that's all you guys. Cool. I'm glad that made sense, Keely. All right. Straight line discs. No, I don't even know what those are, man. I'm still trying to catch up on find the Art of War. Is it War of Art or Art of War? I don't even know. I keep Googling on the thing.
War of Art.
Thank you. I got to do that first.
And Michael's he shared a program with us. It's Jordan Belfort's Straight Line Persuasion program. So a lot of us are going through that right now. And that's what they're asking about.
That's good. Well, we all know who Jordan is, so he's one of my heroes. I would, of course, I only know. I've studied a little bit. I bought one of his little books, but I probably didn't read it because I can't read. Bilal, Bill, I love you, brother. You are awesome. All right, guys, any last minute thoughts, comments, questions? I got 8:06. And I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know Michael took a little time yesterday. It was kind of nice because it was one of those days. I could go all day, you know what I mean? But I just want to make sure you guys got some value out of this. I hope that helped out a little bit. Yeah, he made a comeback. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Robin. Love you, girl.
Hey, Bill, can I make a comment?
Brian, you are the man. Yeah, man. Come on out.
I mean, your story and Dr. G's story kind of reminds me of a quote my dad always used to say.
Yeah.
He said, if necessity was the mother of invention, then desperation was the father.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Need and desperation can create. Yep. And that's why there's that circle, right, Brian, that we always used to train on. The circle of when people get started, there has to be some sort of need and desire. You've got to get to the right people. And no isn't no forever. It's no until their circle changes. That's a good That's a good quote. You might want to say that one more time. If necessity, what was
If
it?
necessity is the mother of invention, then desperation was the father.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense. It's a good quote. Thank you. Brian's one of my buddies, one of my partners out here, and he's been around since the old company too. He's done a lot of real estate and is a great marker, 5-star qualified. He's a good guy to get to know. Thanks, Brian, for being here. Cool. Last minute thoughts, comments, questions. Awesome. You guys take some inventory and then man, make this happen. Like just reach out to people and invite and do it with sincerity and posture, and just know that, man, the right person in front of this information is not going to give you a hard time. All right. Ada, you're awesome. Pete, Bobby, thank you guys. Love all you guys. I'll put my number in there one more time. 760-533-3141. That is my phone number. If you guys ever need me, just remember that I sometimes miss getting back to you. So call me again or text me again, and I'll always get back to you. You guys have a great day. Make it a great day. It's Tuesday. Enjoy. I can't wait to see you tomorrow with Dane. And Keely, thanks again for everything you do. I'll let you shut her down, and everybody, Andres, Linda, everybody, Maggie, Laureen. I just love having you, Esther. It's great to see you guys, Rob, Doug, and Berta, and Leslie, and Gilda. It's just awesome. Brian, thanks for being on. Hey, Melissa. Thanks, Bobby G.
Bill,
Thank
can
you,
I?
Bill.
Yep. Go ahead, Nancy.
The property tours. Do you have any recorded that we can share with people that can't go on Saturdays or Sundays? I mean, when they're on.
Yes, I do. Nancy, if you could Facebook message me or Facebook me or, could that be easier than email, but just Facebook message me and then I can give you one of my recordings.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, from the last one or two that I've done. And then, of course, Elevate has a bunch too, but I can give you a couple of mine that I just did.
Okay, super. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yep.
Perfect.
Good question.
Good call. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I spent time thinking about it. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, Cher. Thanks, Deanna, Jim, and everybody. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Bobby. Love you too, brother. Awesome, everybody. Make it a great day. Keely, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.